Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Now, Ian, you may have to set your phaser to stun for this one.
Okay. It definitely feels a little weird in here right now because we've reorganized the studio space.
A renovation has been made.
And it's not bad. I'm still not liking the full
bad.
It's not bad.
He hates it.
I don't,
It's not just bad, it's awful.
Don't out me like that on the show.
Well, maybe you shouldn't lie.
Well, I'm not lying. I'm just
Our audience deserves
fabricating.
the truth.
I am just an actor, and I am fabricating something right now. I definitely am downplaying it. Originally I was upset because we had this new table in here, and I wanted it to work so bad. And
Really hyping up the table like this thing's going to be great.
And I just
It's going to really consolidate the space we got in here.
Yeah. And, as all things in life, there comes a point where anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah. And I feel like with this table, that was
Murphy, that rat bastard.
Rat bastard. But anyways, it's a little weird for me. Starting off this episode, I was like, okay, I got to get used to how this feels in here because it definitely is different than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll make it work, though.
But to kind of segue this into something new and in a comfortable space that we're usually in and we like a lot. Something that's not familiar juxtaposed with something that is familiar. This movie that we watched.
Yeah. Had to pick something homey. Because I do remember you telling me you'd watched this before.
Oh, man. I want to say that this was one of those movies that came on I don't even know what channel it was on, like Sci-Fi Channel or whatever, or some sort of comedy channel or whatever it was in the television back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so
there was cable TV was still a thing.
Back when I used to watch cable TV on the reg.
I'll be honest, I miss it.
I miss it I miss the
good channels, like the golden ones that you would always go back to.
Right. I miss the and I've said this before. Let me hold off on that for a second.
Okay.
I have said this before. I liked the aspect of television that you could just click on a channel and then things could be playing. Or things were scheduled at a certain hour. So you're like, okay, 7:00.
Takes the work of picking something out of your hands. And you just gotta make sure you're there whenever it appears.
Exactly. And I've said this before. Netflix was trying to take my idea and make their own thing with it, and it didn't work out. They had this thing, it was like a shuffle system, and it was, I forgot what it was called. I think it was just, I can't decide or whatever, or like a
surprise me.
Yeah, surprise me button. That was what it was.
Okay.
You click on it and it would play anything. I think that's a little too broad, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing that I like in hindsight about cable television is that it feels like it's something to look forward to.
Right. Well, that's
because you see these little previews of things that are going to be airing like this coming weekend. It's
right.
Be there or be square.
Well, and that's what I'm. That's the
bat time, same bat channel, shit like that.
That's the point that I'm trying to make is that surprise me button was too broad. Yeah. It could be a movie. I think it could be a TV show. It's just it's too much. So it's like what I was thinking was, again, if anybody out there, this is March of 2023. So if anyone starts to
just date ourselves real quick.
If anything, I'm not putting a date on it, but definitely the month and the year. Because if anybody takes this feature, you know where it came from, and it's my idea, and I should get freaking finder's fees. But I think that like streaming services, like why not Disney Plus or why not Netflix, have like have like a quote unquote channel that you can like click on, and it just has like you can just like randomly generate a handful of shows that are like cooking shows. There's like a cooking channel on Netflix, and you click on it, and then at any given point in time, there's like a thing. Why can't
This feels oddly cyclical.
That's what I'm saying.
Full circle.
You're right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like if I could pay for a subscription to Disney Plus, why can't there be like a Disney Channel where there's like a bunch of shows, or like I can do like 90s Disney Channel or 2000s Disney Channel, where it's like where you can like have a blast from the past of like because you have all those shows on the network already. Why can't we just like click on it and then I can just like in an afternoon have a bunch of different shows from my childhood or whatever. Or again, I remember always on the Disney Channel at like 7 p.m. they had a movie. A lot of times it was a decom movie, so it was, sometimes it was
a mixed bag.
It was a mixed bag.
Shot in the dark, those.
Right, but again, it was like something to look forward to because I was like, I could usually have dinner and then go watch this like movie on Disney Channel. It's kind of fun. Anyways, not to name any names and all that kind of stuff, but that's what I thought.
That's fucking weird, man.
It is cyclical.
That's weird that we have to think about it that way.
But it would be
holy shit.
But I think it'd be cool. I don't know. I think it'd be it's. I think it's a.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Right,
it's
right,
just
right.
like, let's
get
put
rid of
some of these features that they specifically took out for the sake of convenience and just like shove them back in there as like an option real quick.
Well, because I mean, I think
because I get where you're coming from.
Right.
That's what
Both
I like
ways.
about it too. Yeah, but man, it's weird that I'm thinking about it that way now.
Right. You're right.
Just had that idea. It's nuts.
Okay. Well, anyways, back to what we were actually watching. We watched a movie called Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
A 1999 film.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, howdy, right out the gate.
I think you mean historical
documents. Dude, can I say...
This is the word of law you're talking about.
Bruh, I have... I'll tell you what, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this film from my childhood. Like I said initially at the top of the episode, I want to say it came on like I want to say it's like ABC Family or something like that. It was like one of those like random channels that would come around. Right. And I remember I liked it, and I remember I thought it was like funny and kind of like played up a little bit.
Right.
But I don't think I was more of a Star Wars kid growing up, and so I didn't get all the overt Star Trek references.
Not even Star Trek, but a spoof of it.
Right, exactly.
Oh, dude.
And
I had both.
And so for me, like I, watching this movie again, like a little more critically now because of the show that we have here.
Yeah.
I'm watching this and I'm like, you know what? This movie's actually not bad.
It's good.
It's actually kind of good.
It's a classic.
I thought it was going to be a lot more tropey and
it's got some corn in there. It's got a bit of cheese.
Right, but I thought it was going to be like bad.
Nah.
It was like I thought it was going to be like overtly like oh, this is like trying to be comedic and it's going to stick out. I was watching this and I was like some of the dude, some of the practical effects and some of the even the digital effects. Mm-hmm. I was watching
Not
it.
Shabby.
As I was watching it,
holds up pretty well, methinks.
Again, I'm not going to say it was like a modern masterpiece or anything, but for 1999,
it is though.
It looked beautiful. Yeah. I mean, like what I mean is like I've seen.
Oh, I know what you mean. I've
seen some Marvel movies where I'm like, this looks like technical masterpiece of like I can't distinguish what's real from fake here, whereas this was the shots in space were really good. The even like the mixture of practical effects with like the Saris and all that kind of stuff with like his face mask,
dude.
I was like, I'm impressed.
Cool.
It was so cool. Mm-hmm. I loved it. So man.
For any who might not know about this film, it is a parody of the well-known Star Trek series.
Right.
Which I only know as much as I do because of my eldest sister. She was big into that whenever we were growing up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, she would tape, like, she had the whole series taped on VHS.
Really?
Yeah. Like, commercials and all, dude. It was nuts.
Yeah. Well, because you had to at that point.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was so cool.
It was, commercials were bust because you would, there was a handful of tapes I had as a kid that they tried to skip over some of it, and like you would miss the first few lines of dialogue from the commercial break. Mm-hmm. Or better yet, you get the last little tidbit of like a commercial.
Call now or your money back.
Yeah, right.
All those
4 easy payments of $29.99 or whatever. Right. Anyways.
Buy one now, get two free.
Yeah, this movie starts off, and it feels cringy in a lot of ways, but I think it's that way on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And also, may I say, a star-studded cast.
Yes, definitely.
How do you pronounce his last name? Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah.
He's the guy who played in Monk, and that is like the big show that I know him from, because my grandma and my mother loved that show.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, Tony, in this film, hilarious.
He's the best character.
I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this now for you guys. Mm-hmm. He's my favorite character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love that guy. Super funny, and I love it. And another big name that I didn't even realize on here was, or I didn't. I guess here, let me preface this better.
Yeah.
I love, now having watched this film, after having seen Alien and knowing like Sigourney Weaver's importance, I think, in the sci-fi genre,
her pedigree.
Because even like she's even in Avatar, and I kind of forgot that for a minute. And so like to see her in this one and go like, oh yeah, I forgot that she was like the main female lead for this movie, and I was like, oh, what a brilliant cast.
Yeah, dude, fucking Alan Rickman.
Alan friggin' Rickman is in here.
The greatest.
Wow. Yeah, it's just it's a really wonderful, a really wonderful cast. I know that from that movie.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, it's just a fun time. Like I said, it starts off kind of heavy in some ways, because like there's some real I'm talking about some heavy stuff. For those of you who haven't seen it, like it's a bunch of they're actors of this Star Trek, quote unquote, like adjacent show called Galaxy Quest. And that was like supposedly filmed in the 70s, and then now in the 90s they're kind of like, older.
Still going strong as far as popularity goes. They're got conventions and everything.
Yeah.
The actors are unfortunately a bit washed up.
Right. Wait a minute.
What? The
young version of Tommy Webben was Corbin Bleu?
Yeah.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking over the cast list, and I'm like,
seeing some familiar faces.
Yeah. Rainn Wilson is in this is in this movie, and I had no idea. Anyways, so they're at a convention, and obviously, as you can imagine, a convention in the 90s is not nearly what it is today.
A horror show.
It is very, very weird.
Right.
But also,
more so than it is today.
Yeah. And there's a whole power dynamic between like the rest of the cast and our buddy Tim Allen here, who's like the lead of the show.
Still big into it.
Right.
Can recite lines like it's no problem.
Right.
Real hit with the fans.
And then a bunch of awkward real aliens disguised as humans show up and kind of like, we need your help. They're so awkward. They walk goofy, like they're like trying to pretend to be a robot.
They're so funny.
Yeah, and they talk like this. It's like, oh man, what is happening here? It's funny though. I like it. It definitely conveys the whole. It feels like this new trope of like AI trying to prove that they're human.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I am not a robot.
I have definitely talked to a human before.
Right.
I like breathing oxygen and having
walking on two legs. Walking.
I have smelled things before. I don't know what you're talking about. I am human.
Right.
I am appalled that you would think that I, a human, am not
I believe you.
real.
Right. Yeah. You're good.
Yeah. Offended, I am. Anyways, so it's like it's just it kind of conveys that kind of weird. They talk kind of in that cadence of like, yeah, you're definitely not from around here. And then it's really heavy right off the top, like I said, where Jason Nesmith, the lead actor played by Tim Allen, kind of overhears some people talking shit about him and like how his friends are not really
all the losers at the convention,
right? And also
for
just
autographs from a bunch of washed up has-beens.
And then it kind of just hits him, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't believe
shit.
I can't believe that also all my friends that I thought were my friends are actually just kind of done with me."
Yeah.
And after that, he gets wrangled into
the aliens come to his house after he's woken up from a drunken stupor.
Yeah. What a wild time.
Yeah, he's treating this like it's some kind of gig he had scheduled for the morning. And as soon as he gets on the ship, he's like, wow, this is pretty well put together. It's usually just a bunch of like bits of cardboard.
Yeah. In a garage.
Yeah.
The alien Saris shows up on the monitor and he's like,
give me the Omega-13.
And he sits down. He looks hungover and he has sunglasses on. He sits back and he's like,
use a glass of water and a couple of Advil.
And he's like, man, this actually looks kind of nice. Like, look how cool that is. That looks
this
real.
This is good.
Yeah, I was like, wow, yeah. Imagine that.
Just talking over him as he's monologuing.
Right.
And then he just up and decides to like, okay, throw out everything we have at him.
Yeah. Full power on the reds and blues.
And then we'll have him taken care of.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he just gets up and walks away.
He was supposed to help with the negotiations, mind you. So he just shows up. He's like, wow, this is pretty cool. Anyway, fire all weapons. And then leaves.
Right. Well, I mean, in his defense, that's what he does anyways. I think most times.
He doesn't know it's real.
Yeah. He's an actor. He goes in and goes, fire all the weapons. And collects a paycheck and walks away.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, so after that, he ends up getting sent back to Earth, and then in that process realizing, oh shit,
that was fucking real. What just happened to me?
I was on a spaceship in space.
Yeah.
And I just got...
His immediate reaction is to just be like, I gotta tell the guys.
I gotta tell the guys. And they're all at some other opening debut of something.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like a madman.
Right. Still dressed in his, like, bedrobe. Starts talking nonsense.
Right.
Met these guys up in space. They were, like, termites or Dalmatians.
Oh, gosh. So funny.
Yeah.
There are let me think about this. There are two... What is the gun?
The gun.
Shit, guys.
Talking about a phaser?
No. Chekhov's gun. There are two Chekhov's guns, or at least it's what it felt like. I thought that the real one was going to be what the Omega-13 was.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes later, and it comes in like stages.
Right.
But the real Chekhov's gun happens at that moment, whenever he bumps into the kid that he kind of like blew his cool hat.
Yeah.
And then the communicators get switched up, and you think it's going to be more important than it is, and then you forget about it for the whole film.
Yeah.
And we're still kind of in this like transitional first to second act.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like a real Chekhov's gun.
Right.
Because we really set that up there, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then by the time the movie ends, you're like, oh, there's the payoff, which is so smart.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So he is somehow able to convince the rest of the cast to come with him. Of course, they're all skeptical.
I love it didn't really take much convincing.
What else are they going to do?
He just starts rambling like a madman, and they already kind of feel like they're not super believing of him.
Right.
But then they all get into a bus, and then what was the conversation that had? She was like...
It's like, I'm kind of worried about him.
Right.
It's like, I can't believe he's, like, there's no way he's being serious. Like, he was drunk. Do you really think he was talking about a job?
Right.
And that's what sets them off. They're like, shit, I mean, I'm not going to pass that
Yeah,
up.
you actually know, I guess you're right.
Right, they go with him. And after they get gooped up to the ship.
Gooped up is an appropriate term.
Right. They are stunned.
I mean, baffled.
Right.
So it seems like after, at least so far, after you get slurped up by this goop and you get put on either the planet or, being propelled through space at ungodly speeds and then transferred into like a spot, there seems to be a bit of like stunned, dazed, and then some like cold shaking,
just
and then of course
adjust a bit.
Right, and then you kind of get out of it, and then you have to, kind of warm up to walking around a little bit.
Now, Fred, though, he comes onto the ship and he's mad. He's like, "That was a hell of a thing."
Yeah, that was.
He just walks
crazy.
away like it's fine.
Yeah,
joins.
But that happens after everyone else gets transported to the ship. They're all freaking out, and these like octopus aliens show up and start like rubbing, like
coming at them with all sorts of tools and scanners and stuff.
Weird retro future looking like alien equipment.
Right.
Touching them with shit and all that kind of stuff. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Or like they're not even saying anything. They just look traumatized. Mm-hmm. And then that's when what was the name again?
Fred.
Yeah. Fred gets popped up. Favorite character. He gets popped up right there, and of course he's just like, "Wow, that was a crazy thing." And we're like, "Okay, he just is fine."
Yeah, he joins Jason, and he's just like, "What's wrong with them? I don't know."
And then our buddy Guy, our dude Guy, just goes and starts screaming.
His head off.
Oh man. And this starts like the core part of this movie is the aliens believe that they're real and have apparently like studied this entire show, which they call historical documents of what is actually happening. Mm-hmm. And they have analyzed everything and built an entire functioning like spaceship and all the stuff.
Yeah, they're a very frank species.
Right.
They don't they didn't know what a lie was until they started dealing with Saris and his goons.
Right. They're very
innocent.
Innocent is a great term.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just like, yeah, you are the commander, you are the whole squad. Right. You got this thing
figured out. Save us,
out.
Please.
He's trying to figure out like, how do we fly this thing?
Yeah.
And
dude, Tommy.
Tommy's like, I don't know how to fly this thing. He's like,
yeah, you do.
Yeah, we watched you. Yeah. We watched your entire movements on how to fly the ship from the show. He's like, okay.
Yeah, sure. Just like, take her out.
Yeah, just go ahead and
they've
spool her up.
Yeah, they've constructed the Protector. Now the Protector 2 in this gorgeous spaceport.
Oh man,
dude, I love the design of the Protector.
It looks really cool.
It's so cool.
It is a cool looking ship. Mm-hmm. Feels very Star Trek adjacent.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, once I get this thing all spooled up and ready to go, it starts off smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hasn't quite made it out yet, but as he moves further outward, he starts to veer to the left a bit, and he still doesn't have quite a grasp on the controls just yet. So he's just trying to figure it out still.
He's just trying to coast through, I guess.
And he ends up just scraping
for an awkwardly long amount of time.
Yes, for too long.
Yeah,
against the side of the port, but he makes it out.
Yeah, I love it.
Just a little scuffed.
I love that everyone else on the crew did exactly what I would have done.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever it starts to veer left, everyone on the crew just starts like lean their head a little right, and then. And then
get him straighten out, buddy.
Jason like fully like leans on his right arm and is like, let's go ahead and
Guy's right next to him. It's like you gotta turn.
Go
to the right a bit.
Yeah, veer to the right a little bit. I got it. I'm the one piloting the ship.
Right.
Man,
good.
This movie is so nostalgic in a lot of ways for me.
Yeah, dude, you're telling me. I used to see commercials for this on like the VHS tapes we had for Shrek and El Dorado.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. I forgot that like 2001 was when Shrek came out.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
It was an era. But yeah, I used to see the commercials for it. I used to watch it every now and then. Super fun movie.
Yeah. Basically, we get introduced to we get introduced again to Saris, the bad guy at this point,
right,
for the second time.
Pretty miffed that he just kind of attacked and then left.
Right.
So he's reasonably upset.
Right. This is the real conflict of the whole show that really, I think, pans out really well. I love the pacing.
Oh yeah,
I love it. It feels real good. But basically, to summarize, they end up getting into a firefight with the big bad guy Saris, who looks like a big lizard man.
Yeah.
Well,
no, of course they being like the untrained cast of the show. Right. They do their best,
right,
which is not very good.
Mm-mm.
They end up going into like Mach 5 in space speed.
Right, which
overloads the engines, and then they careen into a minefield.
Hilarious.
So, yeah. They've taken a beating.
Oh, yeah.
They end up orbiting this planet that just so happens to have a replacement beryllium core that they need to get their engines back up.
I almost said deuterium.
Deuterium.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they take an away party to the surface to retrieve the orb. And they happen upon what appears to be an abandoned mining facility.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm telling you.
I love the dialogue with this scene.
These creatures creep me out.
Yeah. Are those the miners? It's like, nah, miners at least 3 years old. It's like, miners, not miners.
Right.
You lost me.
Yeah, you lost me. I don't know. I love that like they're playing into the trope as well in the show. That the entire time Guy is panicking because he's like, I'm going to die here.
I'm just a red shirt. I'm going to die right off the bat.
Exactly. I'm just here as an expendable unit. And you're like, buddy, no, you're not going to die. It's fine.
What's my last name?
You have a last name.
I don't know.
I don't have a last name because I'm expendable.
Right. You have a last name. Do I?
No.
Do I?
Right.
As soon as he's on the surface of the planet, dude, he knows exactly what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that intuition because he knows.
Right. And
he knows how this shit goes down.
The thing is, everyone's like, oh my gosh, what is this? And he's like, everyone's panicking because they're like,
oh, they're little, so cute.
Right. And he's like, no.
Something's going to happen and they're going to get real ugly in a few seconds.
Yeah. And there's going to
be a swarm.
And they're everywhere.
And he predicts it.
I mean, he predicts it verbatim. Yeah. And then, of course,
that's exactly what happens.
Gwen walks out and is like trying to be like, oh, just like trying to be a little like, oh, yeah. And
it's like, no.
Have you never watched the show ever?
Right.
You don't know what this is going to happen. There's the sad part is, and this is what always kind of messed me up as a kid.
Yeah.
This like limp one kind of like walks out or whatever. Like they try to like, everyone's like, oh, look. They're trying to take care of the hurt one. It's fine. And of course, they all start like snickering to each other about things. And they just go,
and like, they rip them apart. I mean,
dude, and they're like, the thing is, that transition from like having this kind of baby face to like this, like
a toothy grin.
I mean, this like
with
big
narrow eyes.
I was like, bruh.
Nuh-uh.
Terrified.
Not a fan.
As a kid, I was like, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
I'm done. I cannot watch this movie anymore.
Right. I think it's not even that was kind of scary. It was also the fact that like they try to get the core and then roll it away, and then of course
then they all peek out from behind the debris.
Tommy's running around like, woo, woo, and they're everywhere.
They're here, Jason.
They end up rolling the core away, and the process of doing that. Jason's like, don't look back.
Right.
And then Gwen turns around and is like,
of course.
Just starts screaming. And it's like, oh my God. And I think that's the more scary part is
just seeing the swarm.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it is the swarm, and then knowing that you have something heavy that's important to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the like the fast, slow thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of like,
it makes me think of the trying to open a door while a monster approaches from behind.
Precisely.
I hate that shit.
You're exactly right. Is that it's just
gets the blood pumping.
You're right, and I think that's what that feeling did. Is not only are they terrifying, but there's also swarms of them, and they're like, we have to get this into the ship. Oh, please! I can't handle the tension. Yeah. Just a little tangent here. Mm-hmm. While we have this little moment, you and me have been playing Deep Rock Galactic.
Yes,
which is a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
And
super fun.
Playing that game and having that same sort of experience we just finished talking about the whole like tension of like being chased. Mm-hmm. There has been a handful of missions where I've been carrying. There's like in the game, you're basically a bunch of dwarfs in space mining this rock.
Right.
You know,
simple as
Deep Rock Galactic doesn't really get much better than that. So
Rock and Stone.
The escape pod at the end, whenever you're done with the mission, you can call an escape pod to get out of there. And it always, the escape pod will always end up being away from you.
Right.
Like we'll drop down.
A good distance.
At least 100 meters. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you'll have to go like back through your caves and all that kind of stuff. It's intense because at the same time, whenever it gets deposited, swarms will usually come of like these like bugs.
Periodically, they'll just come in full force.
Yeah. And usually a lot of times whenever you are running back to the escape pod, it will always like summon a bunch of them as like a kind of, you got to get out of here quick kind of thing.
Got the music going.
Because there's music, there's a timer until it evacuates, and there's also
with or without you.
Right. And it's like, oh man, it has all those like pre-baked in tense moments.
Right. It's perfect.
Sometimes if you're like, there's a robot you can deposit things into, if it goes too far away, there has been a handful of times where minerals you can just keep in your backpack and that's no big deal. There's these big minerals that you have to carry in your hands.
Oh yeah. Hefty stuff.
And you walk slower. Yep. And there's been a handful of times where I couldn't catch up to the robot to deposit it, and I'm just sitting here with this rock, and I'm just like I'm trying to walk over there, and I'm like, exactly. And I've been chased before, and it's been so.
Dude, I didn't get to touch on it before because I didn't think of it this way, but actually putting myself in this situation, I realized how fucking horrifying it would be. On one of the last missions we did, there was a low oxygen modifier. Now, this it wasn't much of an issue as long as we kept it in mind, but there were moments where we just forgot because we're not used to it.
Right, it was a new modifier that I never had before.
Yeah, and we make it to the end of the mission. We call in the drop pod. We got the secondary objective completed and everything, and the chase is on.
Yeah,
Molly, the robot we deposit into, is
booking it
right on her way as she should be. But she also has our oxygen tanks on there.
Yeah.
Which we need.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we run out, we slowly die.
Right. And I didn't keep good track of the robot.
Yeah. While we were on our way back, like booking it to the drop pod, we make it up to like the secondary level we had dug through.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian was unfortunate enough to trip and fall down a hole.
It was a perfectly
dwarf-sized hole.
It was literally my shoulder width apart, and it was twice my size, so I couldn't jump out of it. And
this hole was made for me.
Yeah, and I fell into it, and I was already kind of running out of oxygen. I was like, I'm scared I'm not going to make it. Yeah. And then after I fell in the hole and couldn't get out, I was like, well, shit.
This is where it scared the shit out of me, because I thought about it. I'm just like, we're running side by side. I'm like, you doing all right, Ian?
Yeah.
And then I saw that you're just fucking gone, and I'm like, okay, I'm just running. I gotta make it. I'm running out.
Right. No dwarf left behind, but at this point in time, like, you also running out of oxygen, so I was like, don't leave me. I'm fine.
It's one of us or both of us.
Right, exactly.
And I had almost made it.
You had it in eyesight.
Yes, I could see it. I was there, but I was just short.
Yeah.
And I died as soon as I fell off one of my zip lines.
Oh, so sad, dude.
It was awful.
Because it was also...
I had to quit after that. That really took it out.
You're right. You are 100% right, because we also put a lot of time into it as well. We had probably been in there for 20, 30 minutes probably.
Yeah.
So it's like you put time into like mining all this stuff, collecting all these goodies, putting the work into, just to like at the very end get the shit kicked out of you. It's like, oh, well...
I think I'm going to take a break.
I think I'm going to take a step back. But anyways, going back to the movie, that moment felt like that when they're rolling that big orb into the ship, and he gets Jason gets left behind because they couldn't fit the crew and the big rock in the shuttle.
Mm-hmm. So he is taken prisoner by these little baby creatures,
scary creatures.
Yeah, they're like huddled over him, like, wow, this thing's fucking weird. It looks like a baby, and. One of them's like, what do you want to do with it? It's like, I don't know. Let's just let's hit it over the head with a rock and then we'll eat it.
Yeah.
So
sounds good.
Right. They promptly knock his ass out, and he wakes up to the lovely visage of a pig lizard, for all intents and purposes.
There are moments in this movie where the practical effects, or like the puppets or whatever you want to call them, are too good.
Yes, this creature is horrific.
I have never seen such teeth on a beast before. If you want to see something that is horrifically disgusting, if you want to just ever be grossed out real bad, just go ahead and type in Galaxy Quest pig lizard.
Yep,
it's nasty.
That'll do it.
There's some chompers in that. Those are some molars on that bitch.
Yeah. So they're up on the ship. They're able to get in touch with him through the communicators. After which he's like, beam me up.
Yeah, right.
And one of the aliens, the Thermian, is like, oh, cool, it's never been successfully tested because, it was coded for your anatomy and not ours. So, we can test it out, see what happens. And they beam up the pig lizard, and it is turned inside out.
Oh, it's so bad.
After which it... explodes.
Promptly explodes.
Yeah, and he's like, did I hear that right? Did you say that thing turned inside out and then exploded?
I love that, like, they're all his comrades are trying to be like nonchalant about it.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
And then one of the aliens is there going, yeah, but it's inside out though. They're like going to cover his mouth.
Right. Shut up.
Shut up. And they're like, what's going on? She says, hold please.
Right, like a telephone operator.
And then it explodes, and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that it turned inside out and exploded. And he's like, wait,
what?
Excuse me? So yeah, it's nasty.
Now, after the pig is dealt with, they find out that the pig was not what they were chanting for, and that instead it was a rock golem. That looks incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my God.
We're looking at the actual like puppeteering work of the pig lizard, and how a man has to basically be like hunched over inside this beast.
Amazing.
Gross.
But yeah,
oh God.
They awaken this rock being. He immediately just starts trying to kill Jason. After which he's like, okay, I don't care anymore. I'm willing to be turned inside out rather than crushed. Yeah. Try to digitize me right now. And of course they're able to lock on, beam him up, of course, at the last second after he gives Fred the pep talk of the century.
Right.
Yeah.
And he sees his alien lover. What was her name? Jane Doe?
Yeah, right. That's what she's credited as.
I see.
By the end of the film, but I think her name was Leek. If you get it under the bottom.
Yes.
She was listed there. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's her.
What else has she played in? She's played in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. Okay.
Home Alone 4.
Yeah. Charlie the Chocolate Factory.
Oof. Anyway, he is saved by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, just barely.
He ends up a little roughed up, but it's no big deal.
Right.
After which they are able to try to contact the bridge, let them know they got the new core, but they hear no reply.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are boarded by Saris and his men.
What were they called?
I don't know.
Okay, well I don't know if we actually had like a name for them or not.
Yeah, I'm sure they have some kind of name, but I'm unaware as to what it is. But yeah, there's a confrontation on the bridge, Balthazar is being tortured. And, I mean, of course, he's still trying to find out what is going on with this Omega-13 device.
Right.
So he can supposedly use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
Now, the only instance we've heard this thing described as is a
like a secret weapon, yeah.
Right. That can end the universe within a matter of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Why you would want that?
Yeah, it sounds an awful lot like Halo here.
Oh, well, no, I mean, because you could technically hold the entire universe for ransom.
I guess.
Like, do what I say or I'm going to end it all.
Everything.
Right.
I don't know why you'd want to do that, but
right. But, yeah, of course they don't know what it does. So, they just end up setting the ship's core to overload after he makes Jason explain to Balthazar
yes,
what they actually do.
And man, that's like a hard, like really emotional scene where it's like you're really getting to see, because Sarah is also like is making a point to be like, hey, like,
oh yeah, he's really rubbing it in.
Yeah, because I think that he understands what acting is,
right?
Whereas whereas Balthazar's species doesn't really get it, and he's like, oh, yeah, go ahead and tell him what that means to be an actor,
right?
Because this is gonna break his heart, and I want you to really tell him. And of course, he describes it like, no,
he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Explain it as you would a child,
right? And he's like, we lied about it.
Yeah, we pretend.
Yeah, and he's like, and then of course he's hurt by it.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, exactly.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Because he sees that characteristics as a bad characteristic because Saris has it. So he's like, nah, our saviors wouldn't have the same characteristic of this bad guy who does bad things to us.
Right. But no.
Really sad. It's a really touching moment because it's like, oh man, you really made a friend here, and you just got to really,
tell
him how shitty you are. It's like, oh man, that kind of sucks. Mm-hmm. Hard to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all get put in jail. Mm-hmm. The whole species, the whole race that that is what's left of them actually on that ship. They all get put in a chamber, and they're releasing the oxygen out of it, so it feels like torture.
Yeah.
And then the rest of death. And then the crew is all like split up to go do like jobs to like get things done.
Right. After they were brought to like an airlock to be disposed of.
Yeah.
Jason and Alexander get into a mock fight.
Yeah.
The classic trope. It's like, oh, this wouldn't have happened if you were such a dumbass. Oh yeah. And then they just start throwing hands.
Right.
Completely just sidelining the guards.
Right.
After which they're able to make their escape and try to set things right. Now, Jason and Gwen are going to head to the reactor core to try to shut it down, get everything all situated. As opposed to Alexander going to try to free the rest of the crew.
Right. They have the other crew is going to be,
in the process of dying.
Oh, right. They all split up and do a really good job of everyone like delegating a task to get done.
Yeah.
But basically,
everybody comes into their own.
Right. This is that first Chekhov's gun that I was talking about. Because then they're trying to figure out how are we going to get from here to where we have to go.
Right.
We have no idea where we're going.
Now that you mention that, I don't actually know how to shut down the reactor.
Yeah, right. I don't think, unless you have learned something that I didn't learn, I don't think you knew how to shut down the reactor either.
It's like, you're right, I don't.
You're right. But
I know someone who does.
I know a guy who does.
Yeah. Still has that communicator, and so does our boy Brandon.
Yes.
Down on Earth.
Oh, Brandon.
Oh,
I love that he's just like a random dude.
Yeah. Just a fan.
Yeah.
So he gets on the radio with him by happenstance.
Yeah.
He's like working on a model or something, and he just hears Jason going like, "Hello,
hello." Can you hear me?
He's just like,
"It's like, oh, what?
Hello."
It's
like, I got him. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, this is
your commander
Jason
speaking.
Nesbitt. I played the captain in Galaxy Quest. I need your help. And he's just like, oh man, hey, yeah, it's me, Brandon. We met at the convention. He's just like, Hey, listen, man, I just got to tell you, I'm not like some sort of brain case. I know the show's like fake and all that. It's like, okay, but shut up for a second. It's all real. And he's like, I knew it
the whole time.
Right. Shit's fucking real.
Yeah. That's got to be uncanny to hear.
Insane. To have all your delusions suddenly proven.
Suddenly made true.
Right.
But yeah.
Turns out Xeon actually is up there in space.
Oh,
and
God.
They do plan to invade.
No. I thought you were going to say drop a colony on us.
I mean, that too. But hey, we're not in Australia, so it's fine.
I mean, I'm still kind of partial to Australia.
Nothing but horrible lives there. Except for the Australians themselves.
I apologize on his behalf.
What the fuck am I apologizing for? It's true.
Anyways, so he ends up like guiding them down into the reactor room, and there's just some like wacky shit. Again, more like TV tropes that don't make sense. That
like
are
a dungeon from Zelda.
Yeah, that are put into the core of this ship as if it is supposed to function when
gigantic smashers.
Yeah, and a flame
firewall.
pit. Yeah.
Ugh.
Makes no logical sense why it's there, but that's okay.
Right.
But yeah, end up making their way.
Who cares? They're saving the ship.
Right. It's just, it's a lovely, it's a lovely film. It ends up wrapping up.
How about that finale, dude?
It ends up wrapping up really great.
Yeah.
Basically, like everyone gets saved. Like,
everybody
there's a whole bunch
has
of
their
stuff.
moment.
Dude,
Tommy learns how to fly the ship properly.
What is his name? Quellic?
Yeah, Quellic.
Quellic. The
big fan of Alexander's character.
Man, the Quellic moment where he gets shot and he's like, it's the turning moment for Alan Rickman's character Alexander, where he's like, he's been hating being this character for so long, and then like he has this real moment where like he just kind of makes this guy.
If there ever was a time to say that line,
was exactly.
Quellic is dying in his arms.
Right.
He's like, oh man, I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, but he basically says, "I will avenge you."
You will be avenged,
and it's like, oh, dude, it is.
You could tell like that made his life.
Oh yeah, because at that point, like that's all he wanted. He looked at it's just with anything else in life. You have your mentor or somebody you look up to, looking at you and saying like, "Way to go, man!"
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it just feels good. It means
a lot.
It means a lot. And in that moment where he's dying, and to have his life's mentor sit there, and he even said,
we have never met before.
Yeah.
I have always considered you to be a father to me.
Damn. That's heavy.
That sets him over the edge.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, bruh.
Yeah. Not my space son.
Yeah, not my space son. Dying in my arms.
Yeah. And this poor
I will avenge you.
This poor fucking mook outside the airlock has his gun like jammed. And Alexander just charges him and beats the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
The next time we see him, his hair is like all disheveled. It's coming through his makeup and everything. It's hilarious.
He's got blood all over him. And you're like, dude, what is going on?
He tore that thing apart.
Yeah, he killed that man with his bare hands. I bet. Yeah. You killed my son.
You killed my space son.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So anyways, it's a really touching moment, and like the rest of the film is really awesome. Everyone else gets saved. Our boy Fred starts macking on his lady, Jane Doe. Sorry.
Right, of course.
There's some tentacle action.
Oh God,
a guy doesn't like that. He's like, oh, bro,
that's not right.
That's not right. Yeah, at first, his first comment was, "Come on, guys, get a room." Oh.
Like,
oh God!
Ew!
That's not okay.
Ew!
Get those tentacles off that man. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, anyways, there's some other really great moments,
right.
But the second Chekhov's gun is whenever they're trying to shut down the reactor. You realize, you hear from our boy Brandon back home that either it could destroy the galaxy in 13 seconds, or it could reverse time 13 seconds.
Right.
So, and again, they're like, why would you want to do that?
Why is that even up in the air?
And then you're right. And then Jason was like, well, I guess it could change a decision.
Yeah.
If that's
correct a mistake.
You're right. Which I guess is kind of a cool premise to have, like a secret weapon that could just
a little quick reset button.
Go back in time just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Let's get a second take on that scene.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and redo that scene one sec. And then as the movie finishes, you feel like they got the whole minefield hack where they like got really close to the mines, activate all these magnetic mines,
flies through the field flawlessly.
Oh, beautiful!
As opposed to the first like dumpster fire that
that
was Tommy's initial flight,
right?
But he turns right around after Saris has followed them through, and just starts up a little game of chicken.
Yeah, full speed ahead.
Right. And they have this witty back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Now.
I can tell between a good and a bad actor, and you're sweating.
Right. Now. Saris is like hyping himself up, like, you fail to realize that your ship's armor systems are still down, meaning mine will cut through yours like tissue paper.
Like tissue paper.
Right. And of course he quips back with, well, you see, I got a bunch of mines back here.
Yeah.
From the
joke's on you, nerd.
And Saris is just like, oh, fuck!
Oh, return to the Yeah. I don't know.
Obliterated.
I have no feasible way. I have no understanding how he got out of that wreckage.
Yeah, he used the transporter system to beam onto their ship.
Got it.
Disguised himself as Fred.
Right.
And then proceeded to shoot everybody on the bridge.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
Ta-da.
But as soon as Malthazar gets back up after being like shot in the chest, Jason goes like, activate the Omega-13. And it's like, if we don't win, nobody wins.
Right.
End of the universe.
Right. It could be a potential either or.
Right.
Either we can end the universe right here, or we could be in a better spot. Who knows? Yeah. That's a risk I'm willing to take.
It's able to rewind time by 13 seconds.
Right.
Just before Saris gets onto the bridge and goes on a rampage. Now, for whatever reason, Jason is the only one that knows what's going to happen. After which I would think everyone else would too, but...
Right.
He's able to cut him off and just
knock him out.
Logic. Of course, yeah. He's got to know.
Yeah. But he's the one who activated it.
Right.
He touched the handle with his hands.
Oh, I see.
So he's got the touch. The power.
Yeah. But, he knocks him out real quick. And as far as we know, that's the end of it. He is over and done with.
Dude, Malthazar just like beating with his own cane.
Yeah. Never give up.
Never surrender. Dude, this like almost, I don't want to say passive, but like not super strong race of people. Yeah. Who are not very...
Squid beings.
Yeah, exactly. Who are not very... That's exactly what they are. They're squid beings. They don't feel very hard.
Right.
Unlike these like lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that like the next thing this guy does is like he just starts beating this alien with his cane.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit, dude.
Get fucked.
Yeah. Screw you, bitch. So yeah, it's a great finale right there where that whole like it feels like a good comeuppance, and it's like, oh, this is nice. I like this.
Mm-hmm. They say their goodbyes to the Thermians, separate from the main ship, and then begin their re-entry back to the convention. Guided by Brandon and his nerd friends.
Guided by Brandon.
With Roman candles.
I love it. It's so wacky and fun.
Yeah. And man, if they were ever able to pull something like this off at an actual convention, that would be the greatest event.
Damn, you want to talk about
that is dedication.
You want to talk about the potential of harming bystanders
and their vehicles.
Like,
hey, I lost my car, but wow.
Yeah, but what an
that
entrance.
Was
cool. Just for some clout, I think is worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, no fatalities, but 40 injured as
miraculously
as spaceship careens into convention center.
Yeah, actual for real spaceship
in a stunning display
of showmanship.
Yes, exactly.
And dedication
from the Galaxy Quest cast.
Mm-hmm. And they start like coming out of the ship one by one. And this random dude,
Tommy walks up and he's like, "Bro, where am I?" And everyone's like, Tommy! Yeah.
It's
pilot of the ship.
Yeah.
So I'll give a round of applause, and he's like,
oh yeah, he starts throwing out introductions like they're just like this is just part of the performance.
Right, they made it a part of the performance.
Yeah. And that one dude is responsible for saving that entire event.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He just started ad-libbing that shit.
Yeah.
And after no fucking way, I forgot Robin Sachs voices Zaid from Mass Effect.
Oh really?
Did he play Ceres?
I believe so.
Oh my fucking
no, wait,
god.
who's General? Oh wow. Rothar
no
Ceres.
fucking way.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Wow.
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't know that.
He also apparently played Megalodon.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Back to it.
Yeah.
Ceres is somehow still alive after that whole ordeal. Steps off the ship. Everybody stops cheering. Because I'm assuming they just don't know who he is, or he's just like some guy. And Jason grabs Tommy's sidearm, rolls like a fucking Dark Souls character, and fucking explodes.
Yeah, I mean, gets shot.
And he is no more.
Vaporized.
Into a puff of smoke. And then everybody starts cheering again.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it actually looks like...
It was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know this. It actually looks like he passed away in 2013.
No fucking way, dude. That sucks.
Wow.
Ugh.
Crazy, dude.
Awful.
Anyways. So, yeah. What a great conclusion to this film.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, then what is it called? The Next Journey?
The Journey Continues.
The Journey Continues, not the... What is the one... What is the one for... oh, gosh. The Star Trek one.
The
Next Generation?
Yeah, I fucking love The Next Generation.
I've never seen any of it.
It's
so
good.
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it. So, I mean, I know...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyways. So, while we still have a few more minutes left.
Yeah.
Continue what you were going to say.
I was just going to say, it's definitely worth a watch.
Oh,
for anybody who hasn't
100%.
seen it yet, if you're down for just like a goofy movie.
Oh, yeah. Not a goofy movie.
Right.
Galaxy Quest.
Sorry, a zany movie.
Yeah. But also go watch a goofy movie if you haven't.
A goofy movie is timeless.
You want to go cry about a father-son movie?
Watch a goofy movie.
I'm telling you. The idea for Galaxy Quest first flickered through the story writer's mind when in 1994 he saw a trailer for the IMAX documentary Destiny in Space, which the late Leonard Nimoy narrated. Hearing Nimoy's familiar tone made him ponder how hopelessly typecast actors like that can be.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Tim Allen initially tried not to channel William Shatner.
Of course.
It says an actor typecast as Starship Captain Tim Allen had no desire to impersonate William Shatner. He modeled the way he sat in the in his chair, his command chair, after the way, I don't know what that is. Yul Brynner sits on his throne in the 10 Commandments, a 1956 film.
That's funny.
Interesting. Who is Harold? Harold Ramis.
I don't know.
Harold Ramis was originally taped to direct. Oh, okay. The Ghostbusters scribe and director. Okay, of Caddyshack and Groundhog Day.
Oh, damn.
He was supposed to be. I see.
I love
Interesting.
Caddyshack.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been a bit goofier.
Oh yeah.
His hands on it.
It said that brought the faux Galaxy Quest TV show forward in time. Had approved ship and set designs appropriate. I see what they're talking about. They're basically saying they had made things in the similar way they would back in like the 70s and 80s for like Battlestar Galactica and stuff like that.
Wow.
Kind of brought it into the
attention to detail. I like it.
the studio wanted Galaxy Quest fans out of the picture. DreamWorks pushed the director and screenwriter to scrap the Galaxy Quest devotees who saved the day. Thankfully,
that's weird.
It prevailed, preserving the movie's heart as a love letter to science fiction fans as much as science fiction like Star Trek itself.
Good.
That's cool. The Protector crashes into a miniature convention hall. Model makers spent weeks replicating the Galaxy Quest con in miniature.
Dude.
For the 1/6 scale model of the Protector command module to plow into the mini-con artifacts, including everything from Galaxy Quest banners to tiny VHS tapes of The Last Starfighter and Daylight.
That is
were all
insane.
In there before they crashed the ship into it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It did not look...
I mean, that
looked amazing.
This is what I'm talking about. I couldn't
even tell.
Now that I'm hearing more of this, I think more of this movie was practical effects than I thought it was with miniatures and stuff. Because I'm thinking back on it, like the only thing that I think is like really CG.
Any scenes involving like ship combat,
possibly,
and like,
but even then,
space travel.
I'm thinking more is just the little alien creatures
and the golem. Yeah,
yeah. I don't think that there's. I wouldn't be surprised if the other stuff is just little miniatures that they were doing like little explosions with and doing special effects. Anyways, Sigourney Weaver used her character to pay tribute to pretty but pigeonholed, quote unquote, aspiring actresses. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
Yeah. Definitely worthy of note.
Her words say that confident women who come to Hollywood wanting to be the next Marilyn Monroe, but are quote-unquote pigeonholed because their looks. DreamWorks had envisioned Gwen as a brunette, but Sigourney Weaver insisted she be blonde with, again in her words, big bosoms.
Her words,
love
folks.
it. Yeah. I mean, that's what amazing. This article says at least. So I'm just reading what it says.
Big bosoms.
Daryl Mitchell blew off Steven Spielberg when he first met him. It says that Mitchell, who played Tommy Weber, tells a funny story about his first meeting with Spielberg on set. Mm-hmm. And this is what Tommy said. I said, Mr. Spielberg, I would love to talk to you, but right now I am making a movie. And he cracked up, man.
Damn.
That's great. I love that.
Hilarious.
Mathesar was named for a famous science fiction author with a Star Trek connection.
Damn.
Mathesar, the Thermian leader, was originally named Betzalar. Mm-hmm. Concerns the name was way too close to Dan Aykroyd's Conehead character, Beldar.
Oh, no fucking way.
Yeah, prompted a change. The new moniker was a nod to the science fiction, fantasy, and horror author Richard Matheson, who wrote numerous Twilight Zone episodes, as well as The Enemy Within for Star Trek.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what we need to watch is fucking Coneheads.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know what that is.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Coneheads, dude. Holy shit.
Here's one that I'm actually kind of interested in. It says that Rainn Wilson, which was like a little side character, I always forget his name, but he played in The Office. He's a big character in The Office.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson goes MIA midway through the movie. and as I read that, I was like, you're right, he does kind of disappear. Yeah. It says that 6 years before The Office and 18 before he'd play Harry Mudd in the first season of Star Trek Discovery, Rainn Wilson played Lank, I think is his name.
Yep.
One of the Thermians who recruits Tim Allen's character.
Oh my God.
He had to leave mid-production to film The Expendables with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my God.
He said, quote, it was one of the worst TV pilots of all time. The Thermians would have loved it.
Jeez.
Gosh.
That's amazing.
Here's one thing that I caught They didn't write down the first one that I thought. It says that Galaxy Quest was originally supposed to be rated PG-13.
Oh, yeah.
But it was only rated PG.
Mm-hmm.
And it says there's in the final cut, left out some extremely violent moments and also much overtly sexual suggestiveness.
Jeez.
And a perfectly placed F-bomb, which I caught.
Yeah.
From Sigourney.
Yep.
But the cast and crew now generally agree that the PG rating for it is the sweet spot.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's also at the top of the movie, Daryl Mitchell, who plays Tommy Weber, he says shit. Like and I think he says, "What's wrong with that stuff?" or whatever, and he says something like that. I watched it because there's a lot of times they hide it pretty well. It's
so weird.
It is so weird. Like especially in that, it's like that weird time between the 90s and the 2000s. They did that a lot.
Yeah,
they like had these movies and they made like TV versions of them where they like because they did that with.
I hate that shit.
They did that with like a lot of. I used to watch. As a kid, a bunch of Jackie Chan movies. Jackie Chan is my favorite. Like I used to watch I used to have all his movies on VHS tapes. If that dates me, I don't care. That's just what it was.
Right.
I had all of them, or at least a large collection of them. I remember a couple of them. They did the same sort of thing. I think with his movies or other action movies like that, where someone would say like, "What's wrong with this stuff?" And you would watch them audibly mouth shit, and you're like, "Okay, like, whatever."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I guess that
was too much for you guys.
Right. The Protector's registry number contains a secret message.
Oh.
Galaxy Quest creative team worried Paramount would sue if their starship too closely resembled the Enterprise. When the movie shifted from PG-13 to PG, the ship's registry prefix changed from the suggestive STD to NTE, and it was supposed to stand for not the Enterprise.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they went with that.
You're right. Here's the last one. Ceres' ship pays subtle homage to a classic Star Trek alien vessel. I do not know how to pronounce this.
Hang on, let me see.
The Kragvort.
The Kragvort?
The Kragvort is an organic vessel whose maw glows with marvelous light reminiscent of the planet killer from the Doomsday Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Per ILM's visual effects supervisor, Bill George. So
very nice.
It was a fun time. So
that's awesome.
Kragvort.
Oh, dude, we gotta get some Star Trek on here.
Oh, man, you're telling me, man. I still think I'm a Star Wars man through and through, but I do think it's going to be fun. I have watched a handful of Star Trek, like little bits and pieces here and there. It is fun. Yeah. I do like it, but anyways, man, what a fun movie this was.
Oh,
it was so
a nice little jaunt down memory lane.
Yeah, a little blast from the past for me. Super fun.
Yeah.
Well, you looking for anything else? Looking to say anything else?
I got a couple things to show you once we finish recording. But other than that, I
join our Patreon to get those. I'm kidding.
Right.
You have to get behind a paywall.
Now you can pay us to be mediocre.
Yeah.
I love the sort of campy, soapy nature that Star Trek has to it. Whereas Star Wars is like this epic space opera.
Oh, right.
Star Trek handles up on a lot of the smaller aspects of a universe like that, which is why I like it so much.
It is really cool. Trust me when I say I'm not criticizing Star Trek.
No, I get you.
It is its own thing, and I have so many more hours of Star Wars under my belt that I feel confident in a lot of the things that I say, whereas I don't have that with Star Trek.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I claim ignorance and I just keep moving on. I'm like I don't know, but
that's all good.
But I know that people are diehard fans just as much as I am Star Wars. So
definitely.
But anyways, for those of you looking to get in touch with us, you can go to Linktree/Ian Wolf, and you can see all the links, or you can see us on social media there, or you can just type in The Aftermath on all the major podcasting platforms, and you should be able to find us that way.
Should be.
If not, from what I've heard, I think you can actually just pick up your cell phone and then just beam us up, and we'll just slurp you up into the space station.
Alternatively, you can grab a shit ton of Roman candles, go outside with your friends, form a line,
right,
a runway of sorts, fire them up into the air, and we will descend.
Yeah, but you got to make room because like we're gonna come in hot.
It's a big ass table.
It's a big ass table. I'm telling you, and it does not slow down for anybody.
Yeah, but hey, you get a show,
right? I also, this is a new one I heard too, is if you get you and a large group of your buddies together and you all stand around chanting rock,
yes,
the podcast will show up.
Yes,
at some point. But be careful because
we'll throw you a pebble.
Be careful because I also think it will summon a rock golem though. That could be a problem.
He's with us though. It's fine.
Right. But I don't know if he likes them though. Is what I'm saying.
Oh no, so that's fine. It's an occupation. If you want to listen to us, you got to deal with the rock monster.
You got to deal with the rock golem, or else that's. Anyways,
fight him and you will have access to your hearing.
Exactly. Then you can subscribe. But anyways, thank you so much for listening. Until next week. Bye bye.
Never give up.
Never surrender.